Good morning and welcome to AM Cafe this morning, and I want to welcome everybody this week for this beautiful day. My name is Olushola Egbodofo, and today we are taking a look at fighting corruption everywhere. And the man that will do justice to the questions is very much around. Is representing the Osun resident ICPC in Osun State, Osun Resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner. He is Barrister Kalu Ugo. He is the head of Legal Department ICPC Osun State Office. You are welcome to our studio this morning.
Thank you for
Barrister Kalu.
Thank
you. Thank you. Now we are looking at ICPC. What is the main job of ICPC? Number two, is there any correlation between ICPC and EFCC? First of all, what is the main job of ICPC?
Thank you very much for that beautiful question. ICPC, as we all know, came into existence in 2000. But with the enactment of the Corrupt Practices and Other Offences Act 2000 by President Olusegun Obasanjo on 13th June 2000, with 3 mandates. We call it a tripod mandate: to investigate and prosecute, to enlighten the public on the levels of corruption, and to carry out system study in government agencies, parastatals, and ministries. These are the mandate of the ICPC, and the main function of the ICPC is to fight corruption and the other related offenses in Nigeria.
So, since you have been in Osun State, what have you been able to investigate or pick any corrupt practices officers or officials?
Yes, as a matter of fact, ICPC carry out investigation every day. We as a state office are investigating several federal government agencies. I wouldn't want to mention the names here. And we are prosecuting several cases in the courts. Court of State High Courts, Federal High Courts. Some matters are even at the Court of Appeal. So, in effect, we are investigating and we are prosecuting high-profile cases in Osun.
Since you've been in Osun State.
Okay.
When have you been in Osun State?
I have been in Osun State since 2023.
Okay. How many cases have you been treated? The commission. Okay. How many cases have you been treated in Osun?
Okay, no, it's a difference. There's a difference between investigation and prosecution. So you should ask me how many cases are in court. In court, yes. That should be the question.
Okay.
Yes. We have about 9 cases in court. Okay. Osun State High Court. We have at Ilori, that's Kwara State. We're prosecuting cases in because the Osun State office covers Osun State, Kwara State, and the Ekiti State. So we have cases in these 3 states. We have 2 in Kwara State, 3, sorry. 1 at the Court of Appeal, 2 at the State High Court. Then we have 1 in Adeleke, 2 at the Court of Appeal. Last year we convicted somebody in the Ekiti State. The matter is now at the Appeal Court. Now, in Osun State here, we have about 6 or 7 matters that were prosecuted. Before recently, we filed a case yesterday Yes. And by the end, by the grace of God, before the week runs out, we have other 2 cases to be filed in court.
So is there any correlation between ICPC and EFCC?
Okay.
Are you working together?
We synergize.
Okay.
Yeah, we synergize because the two federal government agencies that have the mandate to fight corruption and economic crime. ICPC, by the function of the Act, fights corruption in the public service. On the other hand, EFCC fights money laundering and economic crimes like Yahoo. You know that recently a former highly placed citizen of this country was arrested and property about 700 and seized. Yeah, that's money laundering. Yes, that's money laundering. Although ICPC from time to time charge people on money laundering, but the main agency that is responsible for money laundering is the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, as the name implies.
So since the commission now has started in Osun State, is there any case that gives you much more problems, or that you just have to commit yourself too seriously about it?
No, you see, every case has its peculiar nature.
Okay.
So there is no case that is not big
Or too tasked,
because for you to file a case in the court, it takes a lot. Because you must, going to court, you are taking somebody to court. The court is not a tea party where you go and make merry. It's a serious business that you do in the court of law. So for you to take somebody to court, you are tasking, in fact, you're having sleepless nights. Because any day the matter is coming up before the court, you must do what we call pre-trial, because most times our cases are criminal in nature. So you have your witnesses, you invite your witnesses, you do pre-trial. That is tasking. In fact, there's one case we were handling. I did a pre-trial with one of my witnesses from the University of Ibadan. He did not leave the office until 9 p.m. Is that not tasking? Yeah, so every case has its peculiar nature. Every case is a serious case. Because you cannot take somebody to court if there is no element of violation of the Act 2000. So taking somebody to court, you must know what you are going there to do, yes.
So some people believe that after finishing the cases like EFCC and like what I have just read today, the EFCC hands over recovered the Abuja estate,
yes,
of 753
yes,
housing.
yes.
Some people believe that out of these housing estates, some of the officials will have even taken part of it. They will bid for the housing unit, probably for themselves, before even taking it to Nigerians to say, what is there any belief in that? Do you believe in such things?
You know, Nigeria, we love speculating a lot. Those are speculations. Those, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not voting for EFCC, but there's no way that.
Even I mean, that thing also happens to ICPC too, that if you want to take a case to the courts, probably the offender or something, you have to, if you don't, probably, I will say bribery and corruption.
Okay.
That if you don't bribe, maybe I will not do your case very, very well.
Madam, do you know what it takes to be a lawyer? It takes very serious to be a lawyer. And when you are in the court of law, people are watching you. The world is watching you. Because everybody, you might not know that the people are watching you. So once a matter is before a judge, once a matter is before a judge, there is no way you can do anything again. Because the joy of a lawyer is to get confusion, not by crook, by the law, by the provisions of the law, which the defendant has, violated. So you present your case before the court. You will tell the court why you are in court. When you have finished your case, the defendant will bring his own witnesses. He has a lawyer. So there's no way, because the duty of every defendant counsel is to see that his client is not convicted. That is the duty. That is the core duty of a defendant lawyer. And once that happens, you see that there is that element of rivalry. Not because we as prosecutors, we are not persecutors. We don't go to persecute anybody. We go there to do our job as prosecutors. So the court listens to you and know what you are going to present. What you present before the court is what the court will use at the end of the day. So the issue of bribery, or if you don't bribe me, I will not do your case, where it does not come in. It does not. It can never be. It does not, and it can never be.
So how do you think you can improve in this investigation or prosecuting any offenders?
Okay, that is why the act is there for people to send in petitions. Because most times the ICPC cannot do its job without petition. So we need the public. Okay. Yes, that is the public. That's why we partner with the public, and we synthesize the public that in fighting corruption we cannot do it alone, because the act has given some functions of the public. Bringing petition, we look at the petition. In fact, even yesterday and this morning, once I leave here, I'm going back to the office. I have a petition that I'm going to do what we call legal opinion. A petition is sent to the office, to the chairman at the headquarters, through the resident anti-corruption commissioner here in Osogbo or any state office. Now, the petition is minuted to a lawyer who will give legal opinion. That legal opinion will now be sent to Abuja. Once they look at it at the headquarters and see that there is element of prima facie this thing on the petition, then the chairman will now direct that this matter should be investigated. The investigation department will now come in, carry out investigation by number one, inviting the person that wrote the petition, or if the petition is anonymous, because you can write a petition without sending your name. You can write a petition without writing your name and send. That petition, if it gets to court, the petitioner might not be invited to come and testify. You understand? So in the course of investigation, many things are required. The investigation department will invite people, if it is an agency, they will have to go to the agency to go and carry out investigation pertaining the petition that is written against that agency or officials of the agency. So what is done, at the end of the day, they will write the investigation report and sent again back to Abuja. Abuja will look at it and say, prosecute. So at that time, then the legal department will now come in and they write and they look at the file critically if the matter will stand the heat in the court. If it will, then we will now prepare what we call charge in the north, in other part of Nigeria, or information, as the case may be in the southern part of Nigeria. So when that is done, the matter will now be filed in court. A date, the matter will now be assigned to a judge, because in every state there are two judges by the act, that the matter will now go to the chief judge, who will sign the case to one of the two judges. Because in every state we have two judges that handles ICPC matters. Yes.
So now that you have taken the case to the court,
Yeah.
probably the one you have just said now, that somebody sent a message to you, then you now, okay, advance. Now, if the case is a property
Yeah.
that you have to act on, now you seized that property.
Yeah.
When is it right for you to, how will you manage the property seized?
Okay.
And when is it going to be released
Okay.
to the owner?
Yeah, it depends. Yes, it depends on what we call a non-conviction order. If a court makes an order to seize a property, that's for future order.
Okay.
You have interim and the final for future. If a property is acquired through process of unlawful activity.
Like what EFCC has just done.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, because those properties were forfeited as a result of action of the defendant. Because the properties were acquired through unlawful activity, proceeds.
Okay.
Now, in the case of ICPC, where a property is seized in that manner, if it is a perishable property, like we have, there was one we seized in a Cross River State that had to do with fuel, minerals. These are consumables and they are perishable. So what the ICPC did was to sell off those items. The fuel was sold in public glare. Everybody will come and buy. The amount sold per day was written down. The proceeds from that fuel was sent
So
to.
it will be the duty of ICPC to sell.
Yes,
Okay.
ICPC, because so that those property, those fuel will not perish.
Okay.
Because if you allow it to perish, that's double jeopardy. So what happens is that the ICPC will now sell, the officials of ICPC will sell those things and they take the money to ICPC recovery account and keep it there. Now, at the end of the day, if the court, because the matter definitely will go to court, if the court gives an order that the proceeds from the sale of those items should revert to the owner, definitely ICPC will do that. That is intended. But where the court now gives a final for future order, the property will now be forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria. Yes, so that is how properties are seized. There are two ways: interim and the final for future.
Okay.
I have one in Adeleke that I'm handling. Yes, it takes time. The matter is now at the Court of Appeal. At the Federal High Court, the ICPC defeated. The ruling was in favor of the ICPC. Now the matter is now at the Court of Appeal, where the respondent then is now the appellant. He has taken the matter to the Court of Appeal.
So how many years does that take to, it can go
You see, yeah, that is the problem that that's one of the problems we have in Nigeria because of delays in courts. Yes, delays.
So what are the processes?
No, the process is once the matter is filed in court like this one, it is the court. Because you might go to, like last week I was in Ado. On getting to Ado, the court did not sit. I had a matter at Ado. You know the road from here to Ado. I've gone there 2 times. The court did not sit. So what do? You cannot go and ask the judge, why are you not sitting? You don't have such powers.
So it can take a year, 2 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. The one in Adeleke started in 2021.
Wow.
Yes.
So do you normally lose cases in the court of only one times?
You said?
I said, do you normally lose cases, the ICPC,
No.
in court?
Yes, every matter depends on, because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, the court has the discretion. That is why you have Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. So if you have done your job very, very well, and at the trial court, you did not win, yes, there's opportunity for you to go to Court of Appeal, where the 3 wise men will look at the matter critically, because what people say that what one person see might turn out to be another thing. But when the panel of 3 justices are able to, maneuver and analyze your case, you might have justice before them. So most times we win, most times we lose, because it is not a win-win affair every time. Sometimes you might lose at the trial court. You go to appeal, you win. The party that you took to court of appeal might be dissatisfied and go to court of Supreme Court. Yes, but that is the apex court.
Do you normally expose your informant?
No, we don't. The
Is there any
act.
security for those who complain about somebody?
Yes, we do, because even the act itself has given that right, because that is why most times the people that are reported against rush to court. Okay, because they will come to the office, they say, can I know who wrote this petition against me? When you tell them no, they'll go to court. That is their right to know that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, has given them that leeway to say no, but our act is also an act of National Assembly. And that act did not give the ICPC the power to expose an informant. The informant could only come in when the matter is before the court of law, and where the petitioner puts his or her name. That petition and the other documents will now be filed in court and serve the defendant. It is there and then that the defendant will now know the petitioner. But at the stage of taking statements, nobody can do that.
Do you prosecute civil servants or politicians?
We prosecute civil servants. That is public servant. Yes, we do. If a petition is sitting against a public servant, we invite the person to the office. In fact, yesterday, so many people, even this morning, yes, office, if you come to ICPC office, you see people coming every day, either as suspects or as witnesses, coming to give statement on petitions that have been written against either an agency or an individual or public servant. Yes, so we prosecute ourselves.
In what area do you think federal government can come in to help ICPC or any these federal agencies?
Yes.
Most especially you in Osun State.
Yes, federal government can come in by way of raising the funding. Yes, the funding, because this administration came in and due to the removal of fuel subsidy, everything has gone up. So there is the need to up the funding of the agency so that they will do the work critically, yes, and with every amount of seriousness.
What about Osun State government? Are they helping you people to realize what you intend to do in the state?
Yes, I think it was last year that our chairman was in Osun State. There was an agreement between the chairman, between the ICPC and the Osun State government. In attendance were the executive governor of Osun State, His Excellency Adeleke, and our chairman. So that led to the gift of landed property along Abere, very close to the CBN.
Okay, you don't have your permanent building?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We are on rentage now. Yeah. So the state government has graciously handed over landed property to the ICPC to build its prototype office in Osun State. So, and there's also an memorandum of understanding between the state government and the ICPC on how they can come in and that's synergized with the state government so that the work of ICPC will now go around in Osun State.
So what advice do you have for general public and everybody?
Yes, everybody.
Your agency.
Yeah, the advice we have is that if anybody has any information, it is critical. Now, there's something we call CPTG, Constituency Projects Tracking Unit. That has to do with politicians citing projects in their constituencies. Now, if a project is cited, you will definitely see in the signboard the purpose, the person that brings it, what it's all about. Most times those things are not executed properly or executed to the letter. Most times they are abandoned. So if you are a citizen of Osun State and you see such a thing, it is for you to report to the ICPC. We have a unit that takes charge of that. They will go to the locality and look at it critically and see whether the contractor was fully paid and he did not finish the job. If the contractor was fully paid and not finished the job, he will be invited to go back to site and finish the project. So it is the duty, as I said before, ICPC cannot do it alone. So ICPC's work most times are based on the information from the general public. So the general public of Osun State are duty bound to give information to ICPC on where forward.
So what number can they call you on the ICPC?
Okay, yes, we have our numbers on letterhead.
Okay.
And our office is at number 5, Olualabi Way, GRA, Okefia, Osogbo. So every information that gets there is as sealed as, yes. There's nobody will leak any information, particularly if it's a petition, because people come there to inquire. For most times, people when they come, we'll not tell them how to write petition.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll tell them this is how we are going to write the petition, how to address it, so that it will get to the destination. Yes.
Thank you very much for coming to the studio this morning. We are taking a look at the corruption and the anti-corruption in the country, and our barrister Kalu has been able to tell us the important and the main job of ICPC in Nigeria and Osun State has been telling us that we should write a petition about what is happening in our community, what is happening in the society, what is happening around us, to tell them what to do, and he said the agency will be ready to assist them in everything. And they said they were located at number 5, Olualabi GRA, Okefia, Osogbo. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you very much.
This program. And next time when we call you, I think you will be able to oblige.
Very well.
Thank you very much. And this is Barrister Kalu Ubo, is the head of Legal Department ICPC Osun State Office. And with him this morning is Mr. Yisa Zakun, is the anti-corruption assistant.
Yes.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Yisa. And I want to appreciate the AM Cafe crew, the cameraman, the VTR, the MCR, and everybody here for assisting us this morning. My name is Ulushola Egbonofor, and my producer is Ulushola Oguneye. Thank you for coming. Thank you for assisting us.